Hello, this is Yahweasel, this is Radical Dreamers. We've beaten 3 out of 7 of the endings. I'm gonna say I will consider my success to be sufficient, but not necessarily everything I'll do, but sufficient if I can get 4 out of 7. If I can do more than 50%, then that's enough endings for me. I'll try to get more. I'm not gonna, just stop, but I'll feel, acceptable if I've gotten 4 out of 7. And if I've gotten 1, 3, 5, and 7, I'll feel even better, but that seems pretty unlikely. So definitely a lot of the choices right at the beginning sort of railroad you into particular paths. And, I mean, obviously, of course they do. So I'm actually going to try to choose some choices at the beginning that railroad me into a path I've already done, because I imagine there are things that separate a bit later. But I might also, completely fail. So, the first thing, let's not fall asleep, but also, let's not, follow her out into the forest. Blah, 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 blah. We love to talk. Oh yeah, this nonsense. I went with, once you fall off the horse, it's hard to get back on. I am going to try to go with timeout. I'm going to give this a few seconds and see if it actually demands that I make a choice at all, because it's possible that it doesn't, and that timeout is a thing. But it's also possible not. No, I think it actually needs me to make a decision. Weirdly, the one that refers to flowers is not the one that railroaded me down the flowery path, but it's different from the one I did before. For example, lately it's been pouring down hard, but someday the sun's bound to start shining on me. It'll come someday, I'm sure of it. Yeah, likewise. For now, I'm just a small-time thief, Kid adds, but someday I'm gonna strike it rich, and then watch out! Oh no, don't do it! No, don't do it! Don't railroad me down this! Pay it no mind and insist we move on. I don't know, kids. This is Lynx's property. Who knows what kind of things are lurking around here at night? Huh. Probably something valuable, no doubt, but oh well. Flame is more important. Puffing her cheeks, Kid returns to my side. Without even the moonlight to guide us, we proceed on through the thick forest, trying not to make a single sound. It's the world of the night, Kid's world. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same. Yep, okay, now we're about to encounter the cats. Seems someone wants to say hello. We haven't encountered the cats in a long time. They seem to be surveying the area. Feral cats. Last time I did a pretty poor job at this, so let me see if I can do a little bit better. Careful, mate. These buggers are probably rabid. Yep, thank you. What do we do? Defend thyself. No, attack. I slash viciously at a nearby cat. Startled, it leaps back with incredible reflexes. I stay my ground, not getting any closer to the beast. Hearing a howl, I know I've hit my mark. Licking its wounds, the animal recovers after a moment of pain. I ready my knife, waiting for the next chance to attack. Serge, behind you! Turn around to see that I'm now face to face with a pair of those ravenous yellow eyes! Defend thyself! Desperation, I raise my arms at a cross, guarding my face. Beast catapults onto me, throwing me down and pinning me to the ground. It's a feral cat! The term feral is not the same as wild. This is not, like, a cougar. This is a house cat that doesn't have a house. A house cat cannot throw you down and pin you to the ground. I don't care if it's a Maine Coon. I don't care if it's one of those Norwegian forest cats. No cat is large enough to throw you down and pin you to the ground. I scream from the bottom of my lungs. I feel the sharp jaws clamp down on my skin. The beast straddles my body. Its teeth are now sunken deeply into my arm, my blood staining its fur as it growls. The pain is unbearable. Chat is just talking about Serge's character. If he's a level 1 spellcaster in D&D 2.5, suggests Strixus, then yeah, this all makes sense. Yeah, we pretty much saw this the first time through. Whoa, what was that? Cat is hurled off of me, thrown backwards by some incredible force. And given that it had its teeth in your throat, you know, a fair chunk of your flesh went with it, but whatever. Cowers in a heap away behind a tree with a gaping hole in its belly, roars helplessly. I look up to see Kid standing beside me, her knife dripping with blood. Squeezing the wound on my arm, I rise to my feet. Oh, it was on my arm. Then out of nowhere, Kid flashes me. I mean, flashes across my field of vision. Yeah, this is pretty normal. Pretty much the same. Magil makes him explode a bit. Okay, I don't think I did any better than last time. So, this is probably going to go pretty similarly right now. I'm guessing that at some point some different path might be available. I'm just going to try to sort of watch out for it. So for the time being, I think fast motion. Zzz. Oh, this is a choice I haven't done anything on. Not yet, not just yet, alright? I need a minute. Quit whining, Serge, she says, glaring down at me coldly. You're always saying that. Mess up and I'm leaving you behind. Well, then what? You'd be alone, that's what. You never have any respect when talking to me. Wish I could say those thoughts to her, but in my heart I let out a sigh. But not in reality. I look up to see that from behind me she's already started to head off into the forest. Magil continues behind her without a hitch. I heard to catch up behind the two. In a place like this, getting separated would be a bad idea. Okay, that doesn't seem to have changed anything. Okay, so this faint light does still appear. The light that turns into what's-her-face, the apparition. I'm gonna try not to do that either, because I feel like that'll railroad me into that. Technically, I haven't checked all of these options. Let's check the dresser drawers. I open up the dresser. All sorts of differently colored garments have been placed in the drawer. Frills, lace, and just about every color of lingerie. I wonder what kind of dress is this, Kid mutters, holding up a silk garment from the bottom of the drawer. Examining the dress, I can see she's fascinated with it. I've never worn anything like this before, she says, running her hands across the fine floral lace. She slides the dress down her shirt and pulls it up over her shoulders. After a moment or two of shuffling around, she undoes her shirt and I see her wearing nothing but the silk dress. Wow, that's impressive. She looks as graceful as a fairy with it on. What? Wow, look at me. I'm a lovely maid and not a scrap of rogage? I'm gonna go with rogage on me. None whatsoever. Oh, that's not me being sarcastic. None whatsoever. A perfect fit. Oh, that was me being sarcastic. I didn't believe myself. Ah, Serge, quit teasing, says Kid, blushing. Come on, let's go, she says after a while, putting her old clothes back on with a smile on her face. Okay, so that might have been pointless, or might have changed something later on. Hey, this gives me an opportunity to ask really stupid questions of the Venus statue. It can talk! It's a mirror of whispers. What is it, though? It's a mirror of whispers. I just said that. Yep. Harbor the living spirit. Is there anything you wish to ask? Wow, a million questions come to mind, but only stupid ones, so let's ask about Kid. What in blazes are you asking about me for? Kid shouts with a red face. Very well, the statue's reflection says. Ignoring Kid, who's slapping and pulling me, I focus on the mirror. The reflection of the statue begins to ripple a little. Gradually, the mirror fades into darkness. Before long, the jet-black surface of the mirror is filled with what looks like regiona. One by one, shadows of trees, houses, and people materialize. The mirror focuses in on a young woman, surrounded by small children. The children are dirty and poorly dressed, but they're all smiling and playing happily nonetheless. Then, abruptly, the building they're in bursts into flames. Armed troops are all around. Everyone scrambles for a way out, but against her will, the young woman is abducted. That's the definition of abducted. You don't need against her will with abducted. If it wasn't against her will, not an abduction. The children, however, meet a much darker fate. Time passes. After the fire has burnt the building to the ground, the mirror shifts focus to a small girl covered in soot, crying beside the charred remains of her home. She lets loose a blood-curdling scream into the open sky as her right eye narrows like a cat's. Only her right eye, though. Stop! Kid shouts. I look back to the mirror, but the image has already started to fade. So, I think we're now on a different path than ending 1, because this suggests either she was an orphan and that was an orphanage, or there were many children, and the previous ending, like ending 1, suggested she had one sister, Luca. So I think that doing that might have been sufficient to put us onto a different path. Squeezing her hand into a fist, Kid slumps downwards. The room is silent. Kid, I'm sorry. Let's go, Kid says abruptly, heading towards the door. Wait for me, Kid, I shout as I chase after her. I don't know. Maybe I'm still on the same path. Maybe I'm not. Hard to know. We'll figure it out. Now, I feel like there's no purpose to the archway for the time being. All it did was sort of flood and make us unhappy. So I'm going to go upstairs and just leave that. Basically, I want to do things differently just to see if I can get something different to happen. You know, I wanted to do things the same and then different, if you understand what I mean. Okay, what have we not examined? I don't think we ever examined just the desk. I walk over and open a drawer in the mahogany desk. The drawers contain writing materials and documents arranged in an orderly fashion. Unfortunately, they don't seem to contain anything worth mentioning. But then, a small picture in the drawer catches my eyes. It's a portrait of a friendly-looking girl with a faint smile on her face. I hold it up, wondering who it could be. It's probably Link's adopted daughter, Kid says, looking over my shoulder with her nose crinkled. Pedophile. Faint gasp from behind me suddenly catches my attention. Turning around, I see Magil walking over to us with his eyes fixed firmly on the picture. I don't think I've ever seen him like this before. What is it, Magil? My question visibly startles Magil, but after a few moments, he returns to his usual wooden face. Nothing. His firm response doesn't leave much room for questioning. We're wasting valuable time. We should look elsewhere, Magil says abruptly, turning towards the door. Kid and I look at each other, perplexed. What's his problem? Don't ask me. Hey, Magil, wait up! I feel like I keep changing tiny things, and maybe something's different? I don't know. I think I've only answered the old woman in one particular way, so I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try lying. I've always been honest with her. What an energetic young lady. You haven't come in, here this late in the evening to drop in on some friends, I'd imagine. Perhaps you have some score to settle with Master Lynx. In fact, since she showed up later... Play dumb. Lynx? Who's this Lynx bloke? Kid plays... Oh, I forced Kid to play dumb? Kid plays dumb with all her might. If I didn't know her better, I'd say she's quite a convincing actor. After all, she really isn't the kind of person who worries much about lying in the first place. From what I've heard, Kid says, that bloke sounds like quite a character. I don't know anyone stupid enough to go up against someone like that. Ain't that right, huh? There's no need to try and deceive me, young lady. Are you calling me a liar? Well, all right then. I apologize if I was rude, but it's just Viper Manor has seen more than a few unwelcome guests over the years. Surely you can understand my apprehension. I hope the rest of your stay is an enjoyable one. Hissing those words, the old woman's figure melts into thin air, vanishing without a trace. Ma'am? Kid and I glance at each other. So... when I did ending 1, I was completely honest with her, and she, in the end, as it turns out, was not so honest with me and popped back up at the end of the game. Will something different happen because I wasn't honest with her? Who knows? Okay, this is another situation where I could make other choices. I'm gonna be an idiot and try and bust through the wall, because that's gonna work. So we'll get trapped here, and I don't think there's any choices before we're trapped. Yep. Then we're trapped, but then we had a choice of what to do at this point. And I've always chosen to try and bash the door. I imagine everything else kills you, but I'm going to try and break through the wall, which is an imbecilic thing to do. There has to be a way out of here. We start ramming against the walls, however the stone mesh holds tight. This isn't working. The ceiling's getting too close. Ah! A blade is sliced into my neck. What are we going to do? Try to stop the ceiling! We've got to stop the ceiling, I shout. How? I don't know. Shouldn't there be a secret release lever somewhere? That's weird. I usually pronounce it lever. We quickly search the floor and walls as the rumble of the dreaded ceiling gets louder and louder. We're gonna die. One of the blades slices into my shoulder. There's no time to look for a lever. What are we gonna do? Bash the wall some more now that you have no room. There has to be a way out of it. Oh, this is the same, isn't it? Well, we're gonna die. Sliced into your neck. Okay, try to ram the door. Yep, fine. Okay, so those are just wrong decisions. They seem to, they seem to not work. Oh well, so much for that thought. We haven't actually seen this message because I've only gotten this hurt by the torture chamber. Kneeling down, I rest for a minute to tend to my wounds. Hey, no whining. You're not that bad, mate. I've seen worse hangovers than how you look right now. Wish I had her determination. After I finish applying my bandages, I get up, hoping I'll be okay. Yeah, I mean, I got a bunch of cuts from the torture chamber, got hurt in no way by a skeleton, and now I decided, well, maybe I should bandage these wounds. I can't start to give up now, but boy, these cuts are really starting to hurt. Got a thing or two to learn, but you're getting there, mate. I wonder if you can just do enough battles that Kid, like, you know, feels differently about you because of your incredible battle prowess. Let's try to attack piranhas like an idiot. Let's get these things, I shout. Kid looks at me like I'm crazy. This ain't no joke, Serge. We're gonna get eaten alive unless you do something quick. She's right. Attacking those things head-on is too difficult. They're far too fast to catch. Damn it, they're biting me. Help! These things are fast. What do I do? Okay, never mind. Head back to the entranceway. No, yes! Grab my knife and start making some sushi. Let's get these things, I shout. Oh, we're just in a loop. Okay, fine. Head back to the entranceway. Come on, we're outnumbered. Yeah, now I've noticed that. That was a close call. Now we're gonna find the mouth of truth. Now, I have no memory of what I had to put in the mouth of truth, and I feel like I had to put in something that we found. Let me go, you stupid fiends. I swear I'm gonna knock your teeth in, and that's true, so he lets her go. Da-da-da, mouth of truth. I have just no memory of what we had to give the mouth of truth. I think none of the things that she had. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we needed something new. Yeah, we definitely needed something new. Definitely. Definitely. I don't remember what it was, though! Let's grab the leather scroll, though. What's this? Secret ninja training techniques? Now this is, important. Hey, it's Riddell! Fair girl comes into view from out of a dark corner. Must have been my imagination, she says, apparently not yet aware of us. We're here. What an absurd lie! We're here because of the invitation in the newspaper. Ah, you're just in time, she replies without question, nervously playing along with my lie. Kid subtly jabs me in the side. Why do you always have to be telling those clumsy lies? Yeah, really. Staring at the two of us, she backs away in fright. Who are you people? She says, unable to mask her increasing fear. Magil steps in and speaks in a comforting tone. I apologize on behalf of my party if we startled you. We intend no harm, my lady. Despite his persuasiveness, the girl seems to remain unconvinced and starts to panic. Stop, thieves! Don't come any closer! This is hopeless. Yeah, tie her up and gag her. I move over to the bed and start to pull off the sheets. Kid comes over and helps, saying, Why don't you say we toss her in the dresser? Magil approaches us and grabs the sheets out of our hands before we can make our move. With a look of pity in his eyes, he looks back towards the girl. She seems shocked at this turn of events, to say the least, not knowing what to think. Well, my interaction with her is going to be very different than it was last time, and that's all I'm trying to do. Sorry, Magil, I was only trying to do what's best, I say, ashamed. However, before Magil can respond, the girl takes a breath and turns to us to speak. Magil? You're Magil? Did you once go by the name Gilbert? Hearing that name, Magil takes on a look of shock. I think this is new. Riddell? Is that you? He says in a surprisingly vulnerable tone. This is new. Gilbert, it's really you! My dear, dear Gilbert, she says, taking his hand. Gilbert, what the? I have worried about you ever so much, he says, in a deeply sentimental voice. Kid, suddenly tinged with anxiety, interrupts the two. Hey, lovebird, we're here for the frozen flame, not damsels in distress, remember? The frozen flame, asks Riddell, bewildered. Oh, yes. These are my companions, Magil says, in his usual dry tone a moment later. Kid and I glance at each other. This evening is a blessing. This evening is a blessing, bequeathed to us by that shimmering red jewel's fate, Magil says to Riddell. Oh, brother, all this girl stuff is starting to unravel him. Kid's starting to get agitated, however. I've got a feeling there are that there are a few things that could keep her from getting the frozen... that there are few things. A really changes the meaning of that sentence. That there are few things that could keep her from getting the frozen flame tonight, and none of them wear high heels. What? There was no suggestion that she was wearing high heels, and also, she's in her bedroom. Why would she be wearing high heels? I just really like back pain, so I wear them all the time. Despite her increasing impatience with the situation, Magil goes on and on. Ever since my childhood, I've thought of you. My heart has yearned ever so madly, only for you. Oh, Gilbert, it is true, my dear Riddell, therefore... about the promise. Suddenly, Riddell turns away from Magil. Promise? She asks in a voice so quiet it's almost inaudible. Yes, my dear. Surely you haven't forgotten our secret promise. The one we made to each other on that beautiful day in the garden. You have not forgotten the vows of marriage we bestowed on one another, have you? Okay, I can't read any more of this. For next time, and thanks for watching. If you liked the video, tell me what other obscure games you'd like to see me play in the comments below. Cheers from Yahweasel.